With you, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Of course. What's up, bro? Someone said only
Man, this is a
10% of
crazy
women
thing,
will
man.
ever be married in 2024. Hey,
Yeah,
you said you need to do a trial?
yeah. I said that it's smart to do a trial, and it's not about necessarily the domestic side of it, the cleaning and cooking and all that stuff. It's about the organization and the willingness to to partnership the right way. People talk a good game from their place.
Mm-hmm.
They talk a good game from their mama house. They talk a good game from over the phone or from work. They talk good games, man. But then when it actually comes into putting it into practice, whether she's gonna cook 3 times a week minimum for a working couple, that's pretty regular. Whether they're gonna wash, like do laundry, maybe 2 to 3 times a month for a working company, that's regular. Whether I mean, men really have to get to the place where we start telling women, this is my bare minimum. Are you rocking like a woman organizing and being able to pay bills and organize and keep things together? You know, like put the receipts over there or send them to the email or whatever. Like run this house. You know what I'm saying? Or run the system that I've been running. And they talk a good game, man. You either run this house or you run the system that I've been running, or you give me some idea of how you would run it with me, and then we can rock together. But men need to come up with bare minimums as well. I don't think enough men are speaking the same language that women are speaking and shutting their mouths. We gotta talk our language too, fellas.
Someone in the comments said, someone in the comments said, what's her name? Tyler Rose said, go visit their place. And I asked her, what does that do? She said, shows how they keep up their space, how they act in their home. That is incorrect, ma'am.
That's
I mean,
incorrect.
both
That's a
both
lie.
men and women, when they know they have company, even if they're
Come,
the most trifling person, even if they're the most unorganized, irresponsible person, everyone cleans up nice when they know they're about to have company.
man.
Like
Listen,
the
I'm
carpet,
gonna
the
give you.
carpet is vacuumed, the bathroom is cleaned,
Yep.
the kitchen floor is swept, and ain't no
Took the
dishes in the
trash
sink.
out. The cats been kicking
They
out the
make you
week.
look awesome.
Yep. Man, look, I'm gonna give you a real life scenario. This is my real life, bro. I was in college, man. Fell in love with a girl. I thought she was awesome. I thought she could cook. I thought she was great domestically, all types of stuff before we actually moved in together. Then the minute we moved in together, I realized that her roommate was doing all the cooking, that she was paying someone in the same dorm that she was living in to do all the washing. She was outsourcing everything. She didn't have no skills for nothing. She didn't even know how to separate colors from whites.
Damn.
And yeah, it was really bad, bro. And then, but when I figured this out on like a humbug because I'm at work and stuff like that, and the girl that she would normally outsource some of these domestic skills to was no longer in the same dorm. In fact, she had moved out, so she ain't had nobody to wash the clothes. And come to find out, she didn't know. I mean, she didn't do anything, bro. I mean, she didn't do anything, man. I mean, she was smart enough to outsource, but she didn't have any domestic skills. It was horrible, man. And it took me 6 months to figure that out, living in the same place. That's why I say people talk a good game, and you got to watch real close. Women are masters of makeup. We know this, man. They literally are taught to live lies acceptably in everything they do. Not to say that they all do that, but they're taught to do it. So, it's crazy to think that we don't have to inspect a lot closer with women, man. We got to get better at inspecting women, bro.
So someone in the comments asked, if you love her that much, why not teach her to do, some of these things? So what is your answer to that? Because that's kind of my thing too, as a
Okay.
man or a
Here-
woman. If you really rock with that person so tough, what's stopping you from helping that person obtain whatever skills that they may be lacking?
here it is. Here it is. I actually did that. I got her up to speed on everything. I taught her all these things and everything, right? I got her up to speed, but to be her parent for those next 6 months with all of this stuff was a little bit tedious, man. It was a little bit straining, you know. I didn't know that I would have to digress myself and slow everything down to teaching someone, hey, this is a fabric softener sheet. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know I had to go. I'm serious. Like,
You felt
hey,
like you was
you
raising a child.
I did. I literally did, bro. Like, and she was a very privileged girl. You know, her family, you know, was pretty rich. She went to, you know, she went to a nice school. She got scholarships, all types of police scholarships and stuff like that, because her family was pretty well off. So I'm thinking that, hey, I picked a good one, but she had no, I mean, zero domestic skills. And that was really hard for me. Like, she was actually a pretty good girl, but that led to all sorts of stuff. And then later, when stuff like postpartum, when stuff like, because I had a kid with this girl, when stuff like postpartum, when stuff like,
Oh, you
just
had a
other
kid with
stuff
her?
that. Huh? Yeah. That was my first son's mom. We were engaged for like about 4 years, man, and it just didn't work out, bro. It was a lot of stuff that went into that, but we had a kid together. We were damn near married, and it was crazy, man. It got really off the wall because I did not investigate as much as I should have, man. I mean, I regret that, not investigating as much. This is why I say people need to do these trials and and be very thorough about the things that matter to you the most. I never dealt with a woman who wasn't domesticated before. I never dealt with a woman who never had to pay bills before. I never dealt with this type of stuff. And the fact that we were just young and in college, that was I pulled the trigger too early, man.
So a couple people in the comments said, so they want you to address two things. Someone said you had a kid with her, knowing she couldn't do basic life things, and then another person said you were engaged for 4 years. Why is that?
Well, I was actually being very patient with her, because once I figured out that she didn't, well, I mean, before we moved into our place, I didn't know that she was already, I mean, that was my mishaps too, but that encouraged us, that encouraged me to tell her, hey, you can come and stay with me. I didn't know that she was, already 2 months behind. So she was already 2 months pregnant when when she came to stay with me, and then when she started showing, because she had a very awkward kind of period where it would come, not go, whatever, this type of deal. And so when she started showing and she had to go take a blood test, and it was a different kind of figuring out she was pregnant, because her period didn't necessarily stop. It doesn't always stop for every woman. I learned that. And so once we had a kid and the whole nine, that gave me even more inspiration to teach her these things, because I knew that I wasn't going to be there because I was either at work or finishing up school myself. So I knew that I had to do a lot of stuff. But the reason why our engagement lasted so long was really mercy. In all honesty, I was really trying to allow her that time to grow, allow her that time to step into her best person. And she was in agreement with this. She wasn't really tripping. She was happy that we were just together and that I was patient with her. But it was some other things that came up that I did not investigate, and it stemmed from a lot of things, man. And I'm just saying, guys, really take your time out and really trial girls on all types of stuff, man. We look. This is what I say. My last thing, Noble, here. Stop thinking, and women have to stop this too. We have to stop thinking that just because you exist, that you deserve anything. Women don't deserve nothing, and neither do men. You don't deserve a good man, and you don't deserve a good woman. You only deserve what you qualify for. If you don't qualify for a good man, you can't have him. Any other circumstance we have in life, you have to qualify for. If you want a house or a car, you got to qualify for it. Nobody just says, hey, you know what? Since you're willing to stick it out, then I'll go ahead and give it to you. That's how people trap you. And then people that they end up getting their life repoed, or in this case, broken up because you never truly qualified.
Hashtag someone said you talking about how you were taking all of this time and being patient with her. They said you need to take your time hitting it raw too. So what do you have to say about that?
Hey, man, I was young, dumb, and full of cum, man. They're They're absolutely right. They're absolutely right. I was young, dumb, and full of cum, bro. I was a young athlete, and I felt like I was invincible. And I wasn't talking to the right. I didn't have the right men in my life to nurture me through relationships. That's why I'm glad we got forums like this to where I can help first time fathers or guys who are in these predicaments. And so I think that overwhelmingly, man, uh, with that statement, they're absolutely right. People got to take their time out with hitting it raw. People got to take their time out with all this stuff. Guys, I'm gonna tell you, man. Guys need to make girls wait too. Guys need to stop subscribing to the idea of scarcity. These girls can wait too. If she won't wait for you, then she don't like you either. And believe it or not, most women don't actually like guys. They like what you can offer, but they don't like you.
Wow, ladies, that was a very bold statement that he just made there. I'm not a woman, so I can't speak to whether that's true or not. Ladies, is that true or false? Again, he said that most women do not actually like guys. They like what men can do for them, but they don't actually like guys. Is that true, ladies, or not? We have a new person on the panel that goes by the name Argue with Your Man. Mr. Argue with Your Man. Okay, they saying that it's not true in the comments. One person said that he's speaking facts. Um,
He's definitely speaking facts. We're not there. The delusion is high. Kevin Samuels, he ain't here no more, and he can't. You know what I'm saying? It's back in full fledged now. They spidey sense is coming back up, brother. So you just have to disregard that.
so you're in agreement with Mr. Hashtag.
Yeah, you got to take your time, man. There's so many women who swear they deserve a good man, and it's like, why? You ask them to articulate what they're gonna give this man. What does he get in return for all that he's doing? And it's always, oh, you get me. You don't hear them say, well, I'm gonna love this man. I'm gonna help him pay bills. I'm going to run behind the children as much as I can. I understand that you worked 80 hours, sir, but guess what? When you get home, I want to go to sleep, and you stay up, even though you got to be to work in the morning. It's like they want to. I just don't understand. They want to stay home. They don't want to pay any bills, but then they don't want to take care of any of the tasks inside of the home. They want a vacation 6 times a month. I just don't understand where these women get these ideologies from. Their mothers weren't married, their aunties weren't married, their sisters weren't married. The
Baby
girls that
grandma
they
was
know
married.
online weren't married. I'm just trying to understand, how did they learn how to be wives when they haven't even learned how to be proper girlfriends? I just don't understand.
Wow. Wow. Do you think this like what you're describing is more of a modern woman thing? Do you think women of the past, kind of had the same ideology, or just more of a modern woman thing?
It's definitely a modern woman thing. I remember when men could set up vendor tables and that was their job, and they didn't have any shortages of women that wanted them. They were selling fake purses, burnt CDs. They were doing a lot. And these men didn't have stable income. Some months they make a lot, some they wouldn't. You had men selling dresses in hair salons. It was a lot going on, and women were understanding. Women were willing to come to the table and work with men and build with men. And I think a lot of those women picked some of the wrong men sometimes, and it bled into society with some of these other women that they don't want to take a chance on the man because they only see bad, they only see the worst in some of these men. And it's like, as a man that's positive, like, think about yourself. When these women speak, does it make them look more attractive when they talk negative about men in society? Does it make you say, you know what, I want to help her through her trauma and date her? Or does it make you say, you know what, let me stay clear away from this woman? She need to heal. She need to get herself together. So it's a different time. These women are empowered. They're making their money. They're paying their own bills. They got sugar daddies paying bills. They're taking trips and taking pictures, and guys are taking them on dates, but they're not taking pictures of the guy. They're just taking pictures of the food. These women got a lot going on right now. And that's great for them. But in 5, 10 years, when they're not getting married, and the children that they had by these wrong men are running around telling them, hey, I wanted a father in my life the whole time, and what's going on? Why didn't you never have a man in your life to help, guide me as a man? it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit them, you know. And these other men are going to be in society with their lovely and great wives, living happy lives, and they're just gonna be bitter, trying to put the man on child support and steal his money. I mean, that's really what's gonna happen.
No, 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 no. What's gonna happen? What's
One
gonna
second, hashtag.
happen?
Hold on, 1 second, hashtag. So to Mr. Argue with your man, um, to answer your question that you had asked me, definitely the latter. When I hear women talk negatively about men, when I hear women, not only just hearing women talk negatively about men, but there's some women, whenever you hear them talk about dating and relationships, it's clear that they don't have any good faith in dating and relationships. And like you said, me personally, those are women that I steer clear from, stay far and away from, run as fast away, run as fast as I can away from them. But before Mr. Hashtag speaks, I just want to ask you one quick question, Mr. Argue with your man.
Absolutely.
If I said that the average and below average modern woman really doesn't have that much respect and reverence for the average and below average man, would you agree or disagree with me?
I would agree. I mean, their conversations, their content speaks to it. You know, you think about, you know, a certain sector of men in society that are the passport bros. They come on here and talk negative about them all day long. You know, you had one, maybe 10 passport bros come on here and make a video about a group of women, and now every last one of them, instead of working and focusing on themselves and wondering how they can be attracted to the men who do want them, they spent time and days and efforts and got their hair done and nails done to get on here and post videos about a section of men who don't care what they do. You know, it just goes to show that as a good man in society, you don't get rewarded. So why are you even dealing with a lot of these women? You know, they don't respect you. They don't honor you, because if they did, they'd be specific when they talked about the men that they don't like. They say these black men. They don't say the black men that they slept with, or the black men that failed them, or the black men that don't support them. It's always these black men. And then they wonder why black men in society have no respect for a lot of these women, because you guys don't even distinguish who you're talking about. At least when a black man says something negative on this platform, he literally has to say these black women who think like this, because we can't generalize black women at all. Even if we had nothing but bad experiences with only black women, we still don't have the space to come here and say every black woman. But yet a black woman can come here and had 5 failed relationships with a black guy, and she can say all these black men are trash. And you got black women who say they love black men in the comments talking about, yeah, girl, you're right. So it's just disingenuous, you know, when you can't be honest with a lot of these women. And like I said, you know, 2024 is coming up, 2025 is coming up. You guys aren't working any closer to being married. Men aren't looking to date you. So I'm just understanding what you're going to do. You don't want to date each other. So, you know, what's the backup plan? You know,
Let me
because a
tell
lot
you
of
what's
these men
gonna
are checking
happen,
out.
bro. Let me tell you what's gonna happen. And this is a warning, a trigger warning for husbands and for wives and for people that are in long-term committed relationships, regardless of their personal or legal status. Let me tell you what's gonna happen. We are about to see Homageddon. It's about to be side piece, side chick Mageddon. These women are about to be so they are about to live their lives strictly in the attempt to break up families. It's about to be Homageddon out here, man. You're about to see women out here literally trying to break up as many households as possible. That's what you're about to see. So all the husbands, watch out, and especially wives, watch your best friends, watch all your single coworkers, because Homageddon is starting. I'm telling you, it is.
Mr. Argue with your man. I have another question I want to ask you. Um, you know, if I said, let me not even say if I said. So you agreed with me that a lot of average and below average women, modern women, really don't have a respect for the average and below average man. Don't really have much reverence for them. What is it? If I asked you, what is it about a man today that is going to make a modern woman respect them, um, see them as worthy, and deem them valuable, and see them as worthy of being in a relationship? Is it the man's character? Is it his personality? Is it his ethics? Is it his morals? Is it his goals, his ambition, his vision? or is it a man's financial status and what they feel a man is going to be able to do for them going forward in the future?
Well, there's going to be two fractions of women. They're going to be the women who are strictly on finances, that you can get them off finances. Doesn't matter if they're going to be marginalized in the relationship where, you pay all the bills, so you don't respect her. She's not going to have a say. She's just going to do whatever you tell her to do because you have the money. And then there are going to be women who want genuine connections and they want to be in a meaningful relationship. And as a man, you're going to have your finances together just for yourself, not just necessarily for her, but if you want to raise a family and live comfortably, you're going to need your finances together. But respectfully, we're going to have to just be better men and just stop sleeping with just anything. A lot of us have bad practices. And we just need to be better men. And these women need to be able to distinguish who the good men are and who are the great men, And I tell men all the time, don't be so easy to sleep with a lot of these women. I don't care how good she looks. There's always a man in society that's tired of dealing with her. He don't want to take her calls. She's blocked. And that's how I feel about a lot of these. Like when a beautiful woman says she's single, I'm automatically uninterested. I like married women. I like women who have actually walked across the stage, or women who have actually understood the assignment of getting married and finding a man that actually wants to give them their last name. Because women can find a man and spend money on them, take them on dates, buy them cars, put them in apartments. They can find men to do that all the time, but they have a really, really bad time at finding men who want to give them their last name, put them as a beneficiary on accounts, give them credit cards with their names. You know what I mean? Like they don't have men doing that type of stuff. So if you're that type of guy, the best thing for you to do is to make yourself not be like the rest of these men in society. Don't give these women easy access to you. Be very honorable, be respectful, and just cut these women off when they're disrespectful, when they're telling you got to take them on a certain date, leave them alone. Or if you do have to take them on a date, just eat your food and get up and leave. Don't even tell you going in the bathroom and just leave. Some of these women need to be taught a lesson. And I tell men, whenever she keeps pressuring you, talking about when you got to take her, go ahead and take her there. Eat your food, go to the bathroom, leave, and block her, and maybe she'll learn from that experience and understand that, men are bigger than their finances. Are you going to pour into a man? Are you going to support a man? Are you going to be part of his greatness? A lot of these women want to be a part of the greatness at the end. They don't want to be a part of the greatness during it, right? So why give a woman all your resources and finances if she's not going to build with you? They want to build without you, because when they got their money, when they're making their money in society today, you don't hear all these women talking about, hey, I want to take more of a financial burden in the relationship. I'm making money. You want to hear them talk about how they want to have disposable annual incomes in the household and you pay all the bills. So, hey, man, we got to do better. It starts with us. And a lot of these women, we can allow them just to be lonely and date cats or, keep cats as pets. I don't know what they do with these animals, but they're going to have to do something else.
Hey, look. Hey, look. I really want you guys to check this. Okay, check this. The recent biggest investment is in pet hospitals and pet places. You know why? Because they already predicted what's gonna happen. They already predicted this, man. I mean, this is the most recent biggest investment is a dog adoption and cat adoption places. Like it's gonna get real out here, bro. And men, yes, we do have to step it up. Men as a whole, we have to step it up and really give ourselves more value and stop leaning into the subscription to scarcity. Women are not scarce, man. They are not scarce. Maybe the good ones are scarce, but women as a whole, piece of cake, man. If you want some, all you need is you can find a good girl. I mean, a good time girl at every supermarket.
Sorry, I need to interrupt. These
May I ask
people are
a
in the
question,
comments
please?
talking about someone's broke. I'm
May I
sorry,
ask
Hope.
a
How you
question,
doing?
please?
Oh, hold on, let me finish this first, and then you can ask me.
Do you mind if I speak because I haven't spoken?
Well, I'm just answering a question in
Well,
the
do you
comments
mind
now.
if I just speak because I haven't spoken?
I do mind.
You do mind? All right,
Yeah,
go ahead, sir.
there we go. So yeah, just because somebody doesn't align with what you have to say doesn't mean they're broke. They could literally just not agree with you. So it's just funny that you always hear women say, "Oh, you're broke," or if you don't like women, just say that. It's crazy just for not agreeing. I didn't say these men should disrespect you, put their hands on you, misuse you. I just said that, hey, let's just be honest. If they're going to use you, use them. What is the problem with that? How does that make you broke? That's all I want to say.
And we have a woman on the panel, and I'm gonna allow her the opportunity to speak. But I want to say something really quick. I want to say something to what Mr. Argue with Your Man just said. I just seen Miss Delphine in the comments just comment that he must be broke again. It's very childish. It's very immature. It's very ignorant. It's very lacking intelligence when you resort to ad hominem attacks simply because another man or another woman is saying something that you disagree with. So if a man or woman is saying something that you disagree with, being whether you strongly disagree, whether you mildly disagree, it shouldn't get to the point where you result to saying ad hominem attacks. Like as a grown adult, you should be able to respect someone and just just respectfully agree to disagree with them. And if what that person is saying doesn't apply to you, it shouldn't be getting you in your feelings to start off with. That's number one. A lot of you black women on this app love to say if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Well, it looks like a lot of the things that he just said apply to a lot of y'all. Y'all love to say a hit dog gonna holler. It was a lot of y'all hollering in the comments while he was speaking. So that says a lot. So if you don't like men, just say that. If you're broke, just say that. But stop being immature, okay? Just stop being immature, stop being childish, okay? Go heal, go resolve whatever issues you got going on. Go somewhere and figure that out, okay? We don't do that here. I'm sorry, Hope. Go ahead. The floor is yours. You can address anything that you heard these brothers say. If you want to address the topic, you can address that as well, but go ahead.
Thanks, Noble. So I just wanted to argue with your man, right? In terms of his views, like in his lived experience, in his lived life, where are these views coming from? Are you married? What is your lived experience? I'm just more trying to understand where you are coming from and why you believe what you believe.
Ma'am, this live isn't about me. This live is about Noble and what he wanted to speak on. If I wanted to get interrogated, I would have my own live, and then you could come in there and ask me a question. I'm here to give my point of view on things. If you want me any type of elaborations or anything like that, I do have a Cash App. You can Cash App there, and then we can have a conversation. I need to be paid for my time when it comes to diving into my life, so that's kind of how I move. But like I said, I'm here to support my brother. And that's about.
Okay, so to clarify, at this time, just so I understand exactly what you're saying, for me, it wasn't an interrogation. It really was because what Noble said really touched home for me of a hit dog will holler, blah, blah, blah. Why are you mad? And I was like, okay, fair. So I was like, okay, where are you coming from with these talking points that you have, so that we can actually have a real conversation that's based off of a reality for you? Because it's very easy to have an opinion. It's a different thing to have a lived experience and be speaking from that experience, right? So I was more trying to figure out what is your lived experience? Let's not judge you. Let's not come at you, right? Let's rather understand where you're coming from. If you have a wife, what is your wife like? If you are wealthy, what has that wealth meant for you? How has that wealth played out for you? And let's have a conversation about a reality rather than speculation, right? If I have to pay for that time, okay. But I was just more trying to have a more genuine conversation with you coming from where you're at.
Okay, great. I can answer that. Well, I just don't think it matters. But if we're going to talk about where my experiences, obviously I've had to go through some type of experiences. I'm not making this stuff up. I mean, you have plenty of men on this panel. You ask them, have they ever come in contact with a woman who has tried to use them in some type of way? Just like women can say they came in contact with a man that's tried to use them in some type of way, or they've been in a relationship where they've given more than a person has given them. So clearly I probably had the experiences to be there. Whether you want to say I'm hurt or upset or whatever, that's fine. Noble, he knows my finances perfectly. So, I love when women say I'm broke. I keep more in my savings than most women make a year. So let's just we won't go any further than that. And it's just funny that if you just have an opinion, I'm not telling any man to ever be disrespectful, be dishonorable, cheat on a woman. None of the above. I'm just saying if we can have negative experiences as men and we can't articulate them to women because there's always an underlying. Well, where did you get this experience from? Why are you allowing one or two or three women to skew your vision on women? And we say the same thing as men. Why are you allowing these 5 men who slept with you and didn't see value in you? Why are they being able to allow you to depict the rest of the men in society in a negative light? So it's great that you want to have probing questions and talk about things that really are relevant in my eyes, because at the end of the day, my perception is my perception. I clearly have went through those things together. So if we're going to engage in actual conversation that's going to be meaningful, let's just understand the elements. Men in society continue to be used, continue to be told they need to be a certain height, certain penis size, and all these other things. I say it all the time on this platform. No matter how negative I speak, I don't have no shortage of women who want to talk to me. I don't have no shortage of finances. And at the end of the day, I'm very respectful to the women that I know and love. If I don't know you or you disrespect me, I don't owe you anything. So the experiences are the experiences. But we're here to have dialogue on what Noble wants to speak about, not what my intentions are or what I'm saying or how you want to probe into what I have said, what I'm saying as far as if it's negative, if it's being perceived negatively, whatever. The truth hurts sometimes. And you can see in the comments that clearly the truth hurts.
I'll ask one last question. One last question and I'll be done. At this time, from what you have said, from what I've heard from you, right, you feel like the line of questioning is not in line with what Noble is saying. I disagree. In terms of the topic, I disagree. You are saying that who you are and where you are coming from in terms of this conversation does not matter. I'll be honest, with me, it's somehow swinging between like what actual debating is when we use like actual, like we all know the topic and then we go and research and we do that. It seems like you're swinging between like actual debates versus this conversation. And it sounds like you feel like that's not fair. It sounds like you feel like it's not fair for you to ask me where I'm coming from. You're entrapping me. I don't know you, and women that I don't know are dangerous, quote unquote. That's how it sounds. So for me, all I'm saying, and just to clarify, is, hey, I don't know you. You're saying a lot of things that could be inflammatory. I'm trying to understand where you come from. I'm being met with a lot of aggression in response to me trying to understand that, right? Because I'm just like, hey, who are you? Where are you coming from? What are you actually saying? And I'm being met with aggression, and I'm automatically being assumed to be a stereotype, which for me is different because I'm not stereotyping you. I'm asking you, hey, can you clarify who you are, where you're coming from, so I can hear what you're saying correctly? And you're saying anybody that I don't know that's a woman is dangerous, is what I'm hearing. So there is a huge communication disconnect between the two of us.
I don't think that's what he's saying. Hope. I mean, if I could interject there, because I don't want to speak for you. Argue. I don't want to speak for you. But I don't necessarily hear that. Argue.
Oh, my fault, man. I was listening, bro. I apologize. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, no. I said I don't want.
I forgot that's my name too, man. I changed my name, so I keep forgetting, bro.
It's cool. So I was, I was saying I don't want to speak for you, but I don't think that's what you were saying. I was gonna say what I heard you saying was that although you've had personal experiences like everyone else, you realize that these personal experiences do parallel with a lot of men's experience. So these experiences that you've had, that I identify with, that Noble identifies with, that so many men in the comments identify with, these experiences, hold on, wait, these experiences These experiences, the way they parallel, is not a coincidence. These experiences, the way they have affected all of us and become not necessarily a narrative, but a lot of truth. It's not. It's. I mean, come on. If 100 people look in the sky and see the moon, come on. Like if we all see the same thing, come on.
It's
Let
just
me,
oh, my bad. I meant to cut you off.
yeah,
Hope. I
really
think
quick, really quick.
go
Then
ahead,
you can
bro.
go, and then
Go ahead.
and then I'll have Hope speak, and then Queen, Dazzling D, and Ice Cream and Cake. Y'all get opportunity to speak as well. What this man is saying, and this is true, like whether y'all like it or not, when a woman is talking about her experience in dating and relationships, a lot of times if women haven't even experienced like what the specific woman is saying that she went through, they're able to like empathize with her. They're able to like understand, and they don't tell her. A lot of women at large scale don't tell her like, well, that's probably just your personal experience. That one, two, three men that you dealt with, that they did you like that, but you shouldn't have that mindset pertaining to like all men or majority of men. But when men talk about what they go through and what they've experienced, y'all are quick to say like, you're hurt, who hurt you, and
Or call you
you need to go
aggressive. Like,
resolve
like
whatever issues. 1 second, hashtag. You
my
need to
bad.
go resolve whatever issues you have with the woman that hurt you. Like, why don't y'all start doing that? Why don't y'all start doing that like to women when they're telling y'all about what they go through? And again, y'all be the main ones hollering when these conversations are being had. Like, if what he's saying doesn't apply to you, let it go in one ear and out the other. But when you acting so emotional, being a keyboard warrior in the comments, like you just kind of prove his point. But that's all I have to say. I digress. Go ahead,
Well,
Mr. Argue with your man.
Let my man hashtag go.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So the part that got me, the part that sent all kinds of red flags up for me, the part that sounded extremely dismissive was the part where she automatically put the label of aggressive or something to that effect on to argue, right? And that was like amazing to me because that lets me know, or that said to me that this is another form of abuse that women implicitly don't understand that they do to men, right? And so here it is. Women literally walk around with an emotional expression Uzi. They get to spray it on everyone as irresponsibly as they would like until someone like us comes up with armor on and says, "Hey, don't hit everybody. Like stop spraying your emotions irresponsibly on everybody." And then when we express ourselves clearly, effectively, concisely, with a bit of passion, passion is always an assertion in a personal experience or a personal opinion. Then all of a sudden, automatic with the 10 I would say on average, a man gets probably about 10 attempts at expressing himself per year to every woman, like efficiently before he's called argumentative, controlling, insecure, hurt, or whatever. Like, what? Like, that's so crazy. That, like, to me, that's an implicit way for women to dismiss and abuse men.
May I say something, please?
Yeah, go ahead, Hope, and then I'm gonna let Argue with your man respond to you, and then I do need to let Queen, Dazzling D, and Ice Cream and Cake speak.
So I think I have to clarify. I am not saying argument with your man or argue with your man is aggressive as a human. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the way that his argument came off to me was aggressive based off of what I was saying, right? Because I was saying to him, hey, who are you? What are you? Like, where do you come from? Why do you hold these opinions? I want to understand where you're coming from so we can have a intellectually genuine conversation because I can understand you, right? So can you explain that to me? And he was like, no, women that do that are not, they're not anything, blah, blah. And he went on. And I was like, that seems a little bit aggressive to me personally. That doesn't make him an aggressive person. It just means that's how I perceived it according to my intention, which was, hey, I want to understand where you are coming from. I want to understand, like, what is your lived experience that gives you these perceptions, so we can have a real conversation where you're not being alienated, where you're not being pushed into a corner where you have to be a certain character. And when he responded the way he did, it came off as
Did she just break up?
I don't know. Somehow her feed got bad.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Look
Yeah,
how
I can hear
God
you.
works.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it put me in a position where it was like, okay, I'm here trying to speak to you and understand where you're coming from. I'm not even attacking your argument. I'm more just trying to be like, why is your argument what it is? And you're saying, women like you aren't trustworthy, women like you, da da da. And I'm like, bro, come on. Like, let's be intellectually
The,
generous with one another. Let's communicate in a
the
real
truth
way.
is that
I'm not trying to um, be rude to you. I'm not trying to diagnose you. I'm not trying to do any of that. And when you attack in the way that you did, it came off as aggressive to me in that moment. Does that make you aggressive? No. Two things can be true at the same time.
can I say one thing real quick? The truth is that you did not listen. You just heard him. And that's what happens to men every day. And let me just create the distinction, okay? The distinction between hearing and listening is that emotions are responsible for hearing. That's human emotions acknowledging and responding or reacting. But listening literally or conceptually means to to understand the the information that's being passed, to to list the task so you can put it to an end. You know, in most cases, men are not listened to when it comes to women. We're just heard. And if no one's actually hearing the words that are coming out of his mouth or my mouth or Noble's mouth, then all it is dismissiveness over and over and over again.
Uh, Mr. Argue with your man, is there anything that you wanted to say in response to Hope? I do want to play the original topic again, and then I want to hear Hope's opinion on it, and then we are going to have the other two ladies speak. Y'all can speak on the topic, or if you want to address Mr. Argue with your man, you can do that as well. Go ahead, Mr. Argue with your man.
So and I want you men, most importantly black men, just to listen. Understand that it doesn't matter our tone, doesn't matter what we say. If a woman doesn't get the answer she wants, it's automatically threatening. It's automatically, something that they want to probe into. As soon as we say something they don't like, right? It's like, oh, I need to understand fully why he has this type of mentality and why is he saying this. You got people in the comments talking about he homeless. They don't. I was in a 3-bedroom house that I bought. It's mine. It's funny, but anyway, I'm just gonna say this, fellas. Notice how anytime you articulate yourself to women and it doesn't align with what they want to hear or how they perceive a man to be, you're automatically hurt. You're broke. You're homeless. If you don't like women, just say that. It's always an
All of
attack,
that,
right?
man.
And it's like they're
Every
never
time. Every
safe.
time.
Listen, they're never safe when you speak your truth and talk in general about your experiences, right? And I'm not just speaking for me. I have other men that I advocate for as well. So I tie their stories in too. So my thing is, when you hear these women saying they want to better understand you as a man when you say something negative, these are the same women who will see other women tearing black men down in society every day. They don't ask them to elaborate. They don't ask them to talk about their experiences. They automatically understand. Isn't that funny? And it's very telling about these women because they only genuinely want to know what you thinking and what your thoughts are so they can poke holes in it and create their own narratives about you as a man. But in reality, that's why I tell men, you don't sit here and have to answer any questions or deal with any women that you don't want to deal with. Be a better man, put yourself in better positions, and those women that you want will gravitate to you. I don't have a problem with women. I speak the way I speak because I don't have a problem with women and I don't disrespect women. at all. Like, I don't have nothing going on, but I'm going to be candid about what I'm saying because I don't care. I don't have a filter because at the end of the day, I pay the bills in this home. I'm the one who gets child support that doesn't get used in my home. I'm the one that's actually genuinely protecting the black women in my life. So I don't care what other women outside of that have to say. So when you're asking me to elaborate and speak on things that don't necessarily mean anything outside of what I'm saying, we're in a different world right now. These things that I'm saying, other men are going through. So because I might not necessarily went through them, doesn't mean other men in the comments haven't went through them. So we don't need to understand if we're going to be disingenuous about it. Like I said, women will allow women to come here and create false narratives about men with no pushback. But as soon as you as a man speak and articulate yourself in a way that they don't like, now all of a sudden you're aggressive. They don't feel safe. You don't know what you're talking about. And I just want you men to take notice to that because it's really funny.
I'm gonna play the audio one more time, and then we're gonna hear what Hope has says, and then we're gonna let the other two ladies speak.